Right, and welcome everybody to Formula One 2022, the Belgium Grand Prix. And there we go. And I just did the usual JD Kane. Welcome, JD Kane, by the way. Thank you very much for your ever loving comments. Right, so basically, there's not a lot to say about this GP, really, and which is unusual for Spa. Um, a rouge, of course, named after a stream which runs red with the rust of iron, unlike in Formula One where they now use carbon fiber. And I've got a couple of announcements to make here because this is a momentous stream. I don't know if anybody's seen the thumbnail, but apparently Red Bull are going to get disqualified for cheating, Fabio. Did you know that?
Uh,
Yeah, they're being thrown out of the World Championship. I know, I took that to be a no, I didn't know that, even though it was only R. No, apparently they've been using rocket power. Max Verstappen says, unbelievable race, the car was like a rocket ship. We now know the secret, no comment. Very wise, because of course this is going to be mired in legalese. Yes, okay, good. He knew that already. Apparently we're going to have a lot of cue cards, so that's good fun for the show. That's great fun for the show. However, onwards, welcome to everybody. I haven't got my oh, I missed that one, Fabio, sorry. I'll have to actually look back. Yes, okay, yes, that's good. Welcome everybody to the show, and apparently there is nobody in the show, but anyway, that's okay. We don't give a monkeys about that. Okay, so let's get to the race review because that's what we're really here for. We're here for the gold that is the race review, aren't we, Fabio? Fuck, yes. That surprised me. I thought you were going to put the yes up. Yes, there we go. Thank you. Okay, nice to know we're all on a page, the same page, which coincidentally is what you're showing us. Okay, moving on. Belgium Grand Prix. A weird topsy-turvy one. Obviously, because Red Bull installed a rocket engine in the back of Max Verstappen's car, they had to go to the back of the grid. I'm surprised no one noticed that it was an illegal engine, but there we are. They did indeed go to the back of the grid, although in this case the back of the grid was 14th because everybody else decided to put new engines in the back of their car because this year apparently the manufacturers can't make engines that go far enough, which is weird considering it's the same engine as last year. So, pretty much the same engine as last year. They've tuned them up a little. Presumably that's the reason. Anyway, 6 people went to the back of the grid, which meant Max Verstappen, having taken pole position, started in 14th place. And I'm absolutely very happy about this because it was going to give us what was to be a fantastic race. That's what we thought. A lot of people, a lot of bookies, I seem to remember, or seem to recount, were saying Max Verstappen didn't have a great chance to win. But Fabio and I had a conversation about this, didn't we, and about the odds. And you said how much? Yes, we did. And you said that Max Verstappen was 4.27 to win or something, to 1 to win. Is that right? Yeah, it was about that. I'm not sure that was the exact figure, but it was about that. And I said, wow, that is a great odds because he's almost certain to win this race just because his car is like that much faster than everybody else. So I'm so glad that you won some money. Fuck? Are you saying to me that you didn't put any money on Max Verstappen?
holy shit. I think we lost Simos. That's pretty much, defeats my own, ticket thing. I have no idea what's going on, but yeah. So I don't know what.
Simon should have used the cards, and at least we would still be able to have a conversation.
Well,
Because
yeah. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, the reason I'm using the card is that I'm super royally pissed about the race. But so I'll try to get from where Simon left. Yeah, Max Verstappen get from the back. Woohoo! He actually, I think to be okay. So we got to be fair with the guy. He made something which is bloody amazing. His car was a rocket, but he was absolutely on ball with his race. And reason being, that his teammate Perez wasn't running as fast as he was. And I mean, Perez is not exactly, a nail. So he can drive when he wants. Even if, this year, apparently after he signed the contract, he become immediately slower. But yeah, but there was some interesting thing, starting from qualifying, where the Ferrari tried, to help each other with the drag and on the slipstream, while Red Bull, which I think it's a fantastic place to work right now because everybody loves each other. Not they just refuse, but Max Verstappen just refused to give slipstream to Perez because apparently Perez refused to give him slipstream, some race ago, stuff like that. So they had to come up with this, silly excuse saying, yeah, I mean, the car is fast enough, the guy can do it by himself, which he didn't. Yeah, but I mean, Max was bloody amazing the whole weekend. I think he made 2 laps in qualifying and then literally jump off the car. It couldn't be bothered, to make, to go on anymore. Yeah, there is that. Other cars. I mean, Alonso made a very good race. So we're still talking about qualifying. Alonso made a nice qualifying. Ferrari helped them each other. Of course, Leclerc was with a lot of penalties, so he ended up at the back of the grid, and Sainz got pole position. So we were all pretty much stoked. Bookmakers were quite confident about a victory from Sainz. As Simon said, Verstappen was a little bit lower in the ratio in the quotas, but that didn't help at all. The guy made something really incredible, albeit with a car which was very fast. So, I mean, I've heard people comparing Max Verstappen. What did Max Verstappen to what Senna did in Silverstone in '93? I will say that this is a kind of a shitty comparison. I mean, Senna didn't have the best car at the time when he went from the back of the grid and won under the rain in Silverstone. But regardless, I think that Max Verstappen went from last to first in 7 to 8 laps, which is something which is been unheard of in Formula One ever. So kudos to the guy. He ran a very good race. Everybody was suffering with blistering on the tire. There was higher consumption than what they predicted. But it seemed to be that the Red Bull now is also able to manage the tires better than it used to be. I mean, it's always been a car which could heat the tires better than the other cars, but this time they also managed. It also looked like that they were also able to make the tires last longer than that. So the race started. Basically, a lot of things happened in the first 2 laps. There was a massive. There was some kind of mishap between Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, which that happened last Sunday, not 15 years ago in McLaren. Even if might be something which had to do with what happened 15 years ago in McLaren. Who knows? But anyway, Hamilton tried to overtake Alonso on the outside on the first chicane after the what is the name of the straight? Kernel Kismet. Oh, fuck me if I know. It's after the Eau Rouge Radillon. He tried. Lewis said, I didn't see him, the guy. Hamilton, Alonso said, what the fuck was I supposed to do? I can't, disappear. Long story short, Lewis, made a corner as if nothing was there, and he bumps into Hamilton, damaging his car, and he had to stop. Alonso wasn't, that happy about that. He basically said that this guy can only race if he starts first. Which, okay, yeah, I mean, I guess it's something that he had to say, he has been dealing with that for 15 years, so that was a good time for him to say. What about the Ferraris? Sainz made an honest race with the material that he had. The main problem with Ferrari seems to be that they were lacking both pure speed and mid-corner fast speed, which was something that we have seen through all the years. That didn't happen this year, this race, which is something which I think they got to look into that, like a lot. So that was, Sainz again, managed to make an honest race. He got third. That was all he could do, in the face of it. Leclerc, Leclerc, I think they're booking a trip to either Lourdes or Vatican City or somewhere where there is some saint or holy water, whatever the fuck. Because apparently what happened is that 2 laps into the race, he got a tear-off, and the tear-off was from Max Verstappen, stuck into the brake duct. That tear-off damaged the sensor in the brake, which was going to play havoc at the very end of the race, where they called him back, to change the tires and try to make a new lap. But we'll talk about it later. So basically, Leclerc was trying to get, and he was actually in the slipstream of Max Verstappen, trying to get back to the end to the top of the race. Because of that thing which happened, he had to stop. He changed the tires, so he basically started all over again from the bottom of the current situation at the time. And again, I think it was the third, fourth lap, stuff like that. So he got on with the race. He got around the 5th position. At the end of the race, they called him back. He wasn't really sure about that fact, but still they called him back. They made some weird miscalculation. He got just slightly in front of Alonso, but not enough. Alonso, we took him at the Eau Rouge, so he had to actually overtake him. And we're talking about, we are 2 laps from the end. He managed to overtake Alonso. He tried his lap. It wasn't the fastest lap. And when he got to the back of the grid, when the race was over, basically we found out that he was given 5 seconds penalty because he was speeding in the pit lane. And the reason was because of the faulty sensor at the 3rd lap, from Max Verstappen tear-off. So again, I've always said that luck or bad luck doesn't really exist in F1. I am seriously starting to reconsider what I said, because this was just fucking insane. Simon, are you back there?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
kind of back. Sorry about that. My internet decided to take a shit all
Yeah.
over that intro. God, that intro causes me so many problems.
Right.
I don't think it was that really, but there you go. And as for the debacle, I'm going to call it a debacle. with Charles Leclerc. I'm just going to say this. It reminds me of a song, Fabio. Do you know what song that is?
I don't, but I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me
I
anyway.
am. It's called "The
Yeah.
Tear Off of a Clown."
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I thought it
Tear
was
offs of a
something
clown.
worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. I mean, Max, I left you explaining about what a
Yeah.
great bet that you must have put on Max Verstappen.
I fucking
Like,
didn't.
you didn't. Oh, okay.
No.
I wasn't sure whether you did or didn't, but anyway,
No,
there
I
we
didn't.
go. Money lost. Never mind. I would say that you owe me something, but I owe you beers already. So let's just call that. Let's call the whole thing off. Yeah. Okay. So it was a very. I mean, the Red Bull have clearly made steps forward again. During practices, they were at least a second faster than anybody else on the track, and that is some kind of ridiculous margin. There are excuses for it, but nonetheless, clearly Mercedes had hoped to take several steps forward with their upgrades. They didn't materialize. They weren't faster than Ferrari. In fact, it was status quo again. Basically, everybody seemed to jump forward at the same speed if they
Well-
did bring upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, Ferrari got us made actually. I mean, in Spa at least, they made a step back. I said before, they've always had an advantage in medium speed corners, stuff like that. Like a massive advantage, and this time that didn't happen in Spa either. So
Yeah.
that was something which they have to figure out. I mean, I honestly don't know if it has to do with the track or something which went fucked up, or the new technical directive. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing fuel in the fire there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was
Rocket
a step
fuel
back.
in Red Bull's case.
Rocket fuel. So just one more thing before you resume.
I'm not resuming. I'm done. But yes, carry on.
Well, yeah. So if you remember Hungary, the last race in
I do.
Ferrari, they had. It seemed to me that they had two cars. Sainz was complaining about the car. It was driving like shit. Was Leclerc said, "No, the car is okay." I think that the problem with Sainz was a setup problem, but still, there is something weird going on, and I don't know if it's a setup problem. I don't know if it, but really, the performances of Ferrari especially was really mind-boggling, especially at race pace.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, there is
Okay.
that.
I mean, we've seen it before. Is Carlos? Oh, I just accidentally tapped my mouse. Carlos Sainz is not able to keep pace with Max Verstappen or challenge Max Verstappen, even when they've got fairly similar cars. Whereas Leclerc, when they've got fairly similar cars, is at least able to challenge thing. And the problem was, of course, is Leclerc was hamstrung from early laps in this race. Could he have followed Max Verstappen through? No, not really. The Red Bull had taken a significant step forward, and they were clearly the fastest car this weekend. Not only did they have a higher top speed, they also seem to have a more efficient car, and so they were able to pile rear downforce on the car again.
So yeah, I mean, this is an interesting point because I've heard people complain about the fact that according to them, Charles wasn't in top tip form last Sunday. I am not really sure about that. I mean, the guy managed to finish fifth, and then he got the 5-second penalty. So I think he managed. But regardless of that, I think that one thing we have to remember is that he started in the same position as Max Verstappen, but he had to actually start back again after 3 laps. And still he managed to get fifth. Now, I'm not saying that it would have been a contender for the victory, because there was a massive difference between the cars. But blaming the form of Charles Leclerc. I'm not saying you did. I'm just,
I'm not. No, I'm saying
no,
that
no, no, no.
he had
Yeah.
he had a difficult first few laps, and he
Right,
was
right.
hamstrung from that point onwards. There was nothing else he could do really.
Yeah.
The car was not good enough again
The car was
compared
not.
to the Red Bull. Red Bull had taken a step
Yeah.
forward, and that was clear through the practices. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay. So the car, I mean, Red Bull took a step forward. That's right. I think we have to consider anyway that the way that Verstappen drove last Sunday, regardless of the car he was in, was something really massive, and that's why I talked about Leclerc, because I think that he also drove a very good race with the material that he had. I mean, regardless, he managed to get fifth, basically starting the race at the back 4 laps after that race was started. So, all in all, I'm not complaining about Leclerc. I'm complaining about the car. And the reason I pointed out that I think that Max Verstappen had a lot to do with how the car performed. I mean, his car was that it is true that Perez got second, but it's also true that it was giving something like 1.4 seconds to Perez with the same car. And I mean, we can talk about how good of a driver Perez is, but it's not exactly Nikita Mazepin, if you get my drift. So he's a fast guy. At 1.4
He's a good
seconds.
midfielder, top midfielder, I would say.
Yeah, I mean 1.4 seconds. It's a lot. I mean,
Yeah, he was significantly behind Max Verstappen through the practices as well,
Yeah.
maybe 4/10, which for a teammate is a lot. In years past, that would be a sackable offence for most teams. But of course, as we know, the Red Bull is set up and engineered and to suit Max Verstappen like no other driver. Yeah, I mean, if I mean, I know this is total bullshit, but I would be wanting Daniel Ricciardo back in that car. If I were Christian Horner, I'd be going right.
Yeah.
Perez, he's just not going to cut it. He doesn't drive in the same style as Max Verstappen. We need someone that drives the same style. Maybe he's not
Yeah.
as good at the same style. And
I'm with you, but we all know that Ricciardo would never get back to Red Bull, and
I'm sure he would.
yeah.
I'm sure anybody would jump in that
Oh,
car.
he
I mean,
would.
Lewis Hamilton would jump in the car. It's just you couldn't pay him enough money to do it.
Let
Right?
well
'Cause
let
Christian
me
Horner would be saying, we'll give you a couple of million, but that's about tops.
let me rephrase that. I don't think that Red Bull will ever call Ricciardo to drive on his car again. That's what I meant.
No, I agree with that. I agree. I totally agree. But anyway, I mean, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of shocked by. I mean, I knew Red Bull were going to have a very fast car, simply because their ethos this season is to have a fast top speed, and there's no way we're giving that up around a circuit like Spa. What amazed me was how big their rear wing was, and they still managed to have the top speed. Now, admittedly, if they were going low downforce, they would have been at like maybe 340 plus kilometers per hour. As it was, they were 330.
Yeah.
So clearly they've bolted on the downforce, but 330 apparently is enough to be faster than everybody else. So
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's it. That's your winning car right there now.
Yeah, I understand your point. It's really difficult. I think that it's really difficult this year to judge, the downforce from the shape and the size of the wings this year. Mostly because most of the rear of the downforce comes from the floor, and so the shape and the size of the wing. Yeah, I mean, of course, affect downforce, but it's not that much. It doesn't make too much of a difference. I mean, we've seen some interesting experiments with rear wing this year, and it seemed to be that they don't make that much of a difference as they used to be previous years. I'm thinking about the weird shape that Aston Martin brought. Even Ferrari. They started with the wing that they got in Baku, and they got another one. So I think it's a little bit more complicated. But you're right. I mean, the gist of it is that the Red Bull was, I think, 8 to 10 kilometers faster than Ferrari at the end of the of the first straight. After the Eau Rouge Radillon
Into
corner.
turn
So,
5, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would just say I think what the rear wing does make the difference is in top speed. That's why I'm saying it made it. You could see that they were going to have a lower top speed because they clearly had bolted on a more extreme rear wing, or at least a rear wing with more downforce. And there's only so much you can get from underfloor. So presumably, that's kind of my intimation. Really, it's not necessarily that it does a significant amount of downforce added. It's just a significant amount of drag added. Efficiency wise. Although I would definitely look at their ring. I mean, it looks like a Mercedes wing from a few years ago when Mercedes had that awesome top speed and massive amounts of downforce. So clearly they've taken a leaf out of the Mercedes book there and gone with a highly efficient rear wing. But still, it was big compared to the previous races. Even Hungary, it was big. But there you go. I don't know. Again, I think this is crushing for the championship. I really do. If Red Bull have managed to find this much downforce where they were fastest in which they needed it, right, with the high downforce sector, which is namely Sector 2 in Belgium, then that means they're going to be fast on just about all circuits coming up, maybe with the exception of Singapore.
There is only one thing that I think we have to consider. This race was the first one where the new technical directive called Technical Directive 39 got in place. So it is not. I think it's not that far-fetched to think about the fact. I mean, to say that that Ferrari performances were not as good as they were because of the technical directive. I think that the judgment is still pending about that. I don't think we can say something definite from one race. I think we'll have to wait at least 2 or 3 races to see if that technical directive is going to has something to do with the less performance of the of Ferrari. That that directive impacts on the height of the car and impacts on a series of factors which, well, the floor rigidity, and all that shit. So again, I'm on the fence about that. I think we have to wait for at least a couple of races to see if there is that downgrade. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at comments. I've finally got my internet going a little bit better. No, absolutely, I agree with you. I think also, I mean, I was shocked by the amount of porpoising that we could see. Yes, it's a high-speed circuit, and yes, a lot of people were bolting on the downforce at least as much as they could get. And so, yes, you would expect there to be more porpoising than normal. However, I was just shocked by it, considering we're supposed to have sorted it. Most cars were back to the beginning of the season again. So I don't think they've done anything significant yet. And I don't think they will. I don't think they will this season. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know about that. I kind of disagree with that. There are some parameters that the cars, and the teams have to take into consideration. And if they don't, they can be banned, from the race or receive penalty. And I think that something has changed. What has changed? Again, I think we have to see through some races and see who has affected more. The only thing I'm glad about Sunday, and it took me like 36 hours to figure out, but there is something I'm glad about it, is the fact that there is still one team which I think it's in a worse position than Ferrari as far as understanding what the fuck of a kind of a car they've got, which is Mercedes. Mercedes have no fucking idea still how the fuck their car works. It seemed to be that one day is running fantastic, and then the next day is running like shit. So and by Toto Wolff own words, they still have no idea what the fuck is going on. Granted, those were the same words that Binotto used to say all last year, and unfortunately last Sunday too, which I know how painful it is, but again, hearing Toto Wolff saying, "Oh, we do not understand the car," it just fills me with joy because fuck that guy and the whole he came out.
Yeah, let me just read out Lucky Wolf. Lucky Wolf, in. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really glad you made. It was good to see you yesterday, by the way, as well. Has Hamilton achieved orbit yet? I only saw the launch, so we should just talk about Hamilton and his miscalculation. It's
Yes.
5 on lap 1.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'll
I
let you
talked a
stick
bit.
the knife in because
No, I talked about it a little bit when you were offline. Basically, what happened is that he tried to overtake. I mean, of all the people in the grid, he tried to overtake Alonso. And for the people which don't know or don't remember, Alonso and Hamilton have never been really good friends. Ever since they both raced in McLaren. So there is that. Less than friends. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I would say less than friends.
In some sense,
Yeah.
Hamilton could have been a world champion in his rookie year if Alonso had played ball a little more. And I don't think Hamilton has ever quite forgiven him for that.
Hey,
So, there
it's.
you go.
I mean, listen. Alonso's been racing for what, 21 years?
Yeah.
So everybody has got his own dose of Alonso. So yeah, I mean, Hamilton cannot complain because everybody can, and that makes a no argument. But anyway, regardless, turn 5, Hamilton decided to try to overtake Alonso on the outside. And to be fair to Alonso, Alonso found himself on the inside. Hamilton later said that he was in the blind spot of his rear view mirrors. He couldn't see it. But it's also true that Hamilton made the corner as if nobody was there. And unfortunately, Alonso was there. And so Hamilton car bounced on rear wheel bounced on the front wheel of Alonso. They skiddled, both of them skiddled a little bit. And unfortunately, Hamilton car got damaged while bouncing back. I think it was a radiator or some cooling system which broke down, and he had to stop at lap 2. I think lap 2.
Yeah, if that later on that lap, I think. Yeah, they just said pull over, mate. You're done. And again, all fairness, I love the comment or love the interview with Hamilton halfway through. The journalist really wanted to stick the knife in. So the journalist said, "Oh, did you hear what Alonso had to say?" This was after the race, actually. Did you hear what Alonso said about it? He said, and Hamilton just cut her off and just said, "I don't care what Alonso has to say, but I just was wrong. I shouldn't have turned in. I should have given him more speed, clearly."
Alonso was actually, I mean, I liked the way he drove. He drove. I mean, he knew exactly the position he was aiming for. And again, Alonso is he has experience to sell to everybody. So he's not, doing stupid shit. If he knows that his goal is 5th or 4th, he will drive, for 5th or 4th. He will never, it's not going to impede people, for fuck reason. I mean, unless he's having a lot of fun, like last year in Hungary with but that's another thing. I mean, the guy can have a little bit of fun. But I love both. I don't know if you heard what Alonso said at the end of the race, not only with Lewis but with Ferrari too. And I think that Alonso last Sunday he had some pebbles the size of maybe the Kilimanjaro in his shoes that he had to take away. So, well, I mean, what he told about. I mean, he made it perfectly clear what he thought about Hamilton during the race. He said, "Well, this guy can only drive if he starts first. That's it."
Yeah, yeah.
So that was one thing. And at the end of the race, they asked him if he was surprised to see Leclerc, coming out of the pit, in front of him on lap 2. And he said, "Yeah, I was surprised, but it's Ferrari. They make, strange tactics." So that was the second giant pebble that I think he got out from Spa way lighter with all these huge,
Yeah.
boulders on his shoulder. And I will manage to say, "Okay, I've said this about that guy. I'm gonna say this about those guys. I'm better."
Again, today, looking at the result though of Spa, you'd have to think that he's not the most sensible lad to be leaving Alpine, because that car actually looked pretty decent. It had a good drive in the hands of Ocon as well. And Ocon's a fairly decent driver. Let's make no mistake. But he had some overtakes. The top speed was there.
There is a weird rumor in the paddocks, and I don't know if you heard about it, about Aston Martin next year.
Oh, who? Sorry. Go ahead.
And the weird rumor is that Aston Martin is gonna have Honda engines next year.
That is weird.
That is a weird rumor, and I've heard it. That was a question that an Italian journalist made to a guy named Mario Miyakawa. Mario Miyakawa is the manager of he's the manager of, oh, can't remember, but I mean he manages a couple of drivers in F1. He's a big friend of Alesi, but I mean, he's one of those people which knows shit, if you know what I mean. He knew exactly how the whole Alonso thing, went, Weber and all that stuff. So they asked him about that thing, and he didn't, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no, he just made a strange face. So it's a weird rumor which is circulating, and I wouldn't be surprised. So there is that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, completely agree. That would be kind of weird. What's the guy's name? I would have thought if anybody was going for it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, maybe if he knew that a Honda engine, it is probably the most powerful engine going at the moment. Now they've got the reliability sorted out. But will the other guys have reliability? We don't know. It seems to me that if it was such a engine, then Tauri would also be getting decent results, and they seem to be stuck heavily at the back. So I don't know what that's about. I think there's still a lot of question marks over what's going on with it at the moment.
I think that's more a problem with the car than with the engine, with the AlphaTauri, because I mean they can knack a pretty good top speed, so that usually assigns that. I mean, at least you got the engine, but the car
I didn't think they did
too much.
top speed, but anyway. Maybe.
Sam, sorry. Maybe if you cut the camera, because your audio is a little bit. It's not roboting yet, but it's cutting some time. So let's see.
Okay. Is that any better?
It's better so far. I'll let you know.
That's great. If anything happens, let me know. Okay. So we got another thing here. Let me just talk about this first, and then I'll pass it over to you. There we go. Team quote of the day goes to Mick Schumacher. My ass. Yeah. So what actually happened with the arse is Gunter Steiner is confirmed that they will be signing Mick Schumacher, and that's why Mick Schumacher's arse was burning. Just want to point that out to Lucky. He says, Mick Schumacher has done a deal with Gunter Steiner, and his arse is now burning, but he will be re-signed for next year. So swing bouts for Mick Schumacher. Did you
As
want
as
to
it as he
say what the
signed
real thing
yet?
is? Oh no! Well, apparently Mick Schumacher is intimating this when he said my arse is burning. He was smiling at Gunter Steiner. So
Oh, okay.
we,
No,
we
yeah,
now believe that that's because he got re-signed on a deal with Gunter.
yeah. There's some rumors about who's gonna be, the driver in us. Giovinazzi name has been made up again. Schumacher, and then there is another guy.
Daniel
I
Ricciardo.
can't remember. I don't
He
think it
could be
was.
driving.
Yeah, I
He could be
mean,
driving
yeah, I
for
mean,
anybody. We don't know.
I mean, Ricciardo is open. So yeah, fuck. Unless that is not clear yet. Unless they, because one thing that we know about the old Ricciardo thing is that he's gonna be paid anyway next year. The thing we don't know is if is gonna be paid and there is a clause that is he can't be driving or not. That's something that is not clear.
Nah,
Yet.
I think that's too. I mean that's said. If that isn't true, then yeah, okay, then you'll just take the 20 million. If it's not true, the deal, money. You'll say, okay, well, look, I tell you what, give 10 million, and I'll the other 10 million off for me to drive.
Well,
Because
no,
he's
I
no
mean,
threat. He's no threat. So they.
well, yeah, but I mean, so it depends. It depends on how amicable they get out of this thing. Because I mean, Ricciardo had a contract, so a contract is a contract, so they have to pay him some money anyway, regardless. Okay, and that apparently, is the deal which has been made is that they're going to pay him next year without him driving. What is not clear is that he's going to be free to drive for somebody else or not. That is the only thing, and it's not totally clear because
When we say sorry, let me interrupt you there. When they say somebody else, what we're talking about is another Formula One team. Now, when
yes,
Jack
yes.
Brown was interviewed, he said, "No, it's no problem. He can drive for another team, for somebody else." But he was intimated that it was another series in Formula One. Let me just say that.
So let me be super clear. You believe what Zach Brown says?
No, I'm just
Okay.
If
Yeah.
you read into Zach Brown's statement,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he believes that the contract is that he can stop Ricardo driving in another Formula One team. In other words, he has to have gardening leave.
Yes. No. Yeah. That's what I said. Of course, driving for somebody else. I was still talking about Formula One.
Yeah, of
but
course,
but again,
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
but it's I don't think it's that clear because, as I said, Ricciardo was owed that money for next year because he had a contract. So that money has to be given to him. Period. And if they tell him he cannot be driving for another team, there might be some penalties that the funny thing would be that McLaren has to pay penalties to Ricciardo. So that's I mean I don't think it's still clear enough to say that. And one of the reasons is that even Ricciardo hasn't said anything about it's not clear what he's going to do. I think he's talking. But I think now he is more in the position to understand if he can talk to anybody. Of course he will, but so if he can take any sort of commitment with anybody. So that's what.
No, I agree. Just think that basically, if he wants to waive the 20 million, then he can go and drive for a Formula One team. I don't see any problem with that because he's broken the whole contract, right? He's just waiving his next year's fee, basically. And I think that the board of the FIA board will uphold that. They don't want to lose Ricciardo either. Nobody wants Ricciardo out of Formula One. However, I think Zach Brown, being Zach Brown and having so many fingers in so many other pies, he could easily find a drive for Ricciardo somewhere else if Ricciardo wanted to take the 20 million. Which, let's face it, he's not going to get from any other a team at the back, right? No one's going to pay Ricardo 20 million to drive. That's why they made
c-
the figure 20 million. Go
can,
ahead.
can I stop you for a second? Now we give, I think we have to give, the floor to Peter.
Sure.
I'm having trouble listening to you, and I've realized even on my StreamYards, I am buffering a bit, which doesn't seem to be on YouTube. So
Okay.
if Peter or anybody else can tell us,
when Peter
if they
comes
can
in,
hear us
sure.
okay, because I have no
Sure.
idea.
Okay, well, when Peter comes in, anyway, I'm going to just restart my router anyway. So that should take care of everything. Okay. I just want to get through a couple of other things. Here we go.
Let me
So,
try this.
I just want to do a couple of other things. Lucky says, Honda Aston Martin collaborative have interesting implications for the next James Bond movie. 007 in a Civic, maybe. Good comment.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys, meaning you, Fabio, I think, what do you guys think of Vettel's decision to retire? I'm quite disappointed, even though he's German. Go ahead. What do you think, Fabio?
I think that the guy has got enough. So he would just want to get close to his family and all that stuff. He's not having the same amount of fun that he used to have. I kind of understand that. I mean, that guy has been on at the peak of F1 for basically all his career, and I don't think he's the kind of person like Alonso, for example, is that he's pretty much okay, keep driving, for I would say shit and giggles, because apparently, I mean, this is what it transpires. It's not doing that. I mean, he's a serious driver, but I think it's a different approach. I think that Vettel is
Yes.
way more of a family man, and to be totally honest, I think that Vettel is way more of a better human being than Alonso, other people. So
For
when
sure.
when he says that he wants to get back to his family and stuff like that, I kind of believe him, and I'm kind of with him.
And he's made his money. So he's only got
Yeah, yeah,
extra
yeah.
millions to make now. He's got enough tucked away that he's not going to have to go want for anything in the rest of his life. So good luck to him. And I dare say,
Yeah.
in a few years' time, we'll see him racing in other categories, just like we do with many ex-Formula One drivers. So
Yeah.
I don't think this is the last we'll see of him racing. He'll just find a decent guy. In fact, if anything, he really will suit Le Mans style cars, which have got
Yeah.
a lot of downforce rear. So I think, yeah. And a lot of people up and down the lane have got a lot of good things to say there. So and yeah, I think he will be missed as well. Okay, I think we should bring Peter in now. Thank you very much for
Okay.
your
So while
questions.
Peter is
Go ahead.
there, I'm trying to refresh my StreamYard because I've got issues. So yeah, Peter, you can start.
Okay, I'm
your,
going
your,
to,
your stuff.
yeah, Peter, I'm going to drop out. I'm going to reboot my thing. I'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. Okay.
Can you wait? Can you wait until I refresh? So I mean, Peter
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
is somebody. Okay.
Yeah,
Hold on, I'll
Thomas,
be
if
right back.
if you let Fabio refresh first, then that'll it's probably a StreamYard issue. This is the only downside of StreamYard, and that is they keep updating. It's once or twice a week when you get a StreamYard update, and so I think they should before they send out an update, they should check things better or be slower in updates. This is getting to be problematic, but there's not a lot we can do about it, I think.
Yeah, for me, it's Discord. It's the real issue. Anyway, there you go. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Vettel. Yeah, I think Vettel could be described as a genuine guy, unlike a lot of them. Yeah, I think obviously when you're at the top of a sport like that, then it's a dog-eat-dog world, even for people which are nice. And in some sense, I feel that Vettel has got a little tired of being that dog-eat-dog guy. So anyway, there you go. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, Peter, for your section.
Yeah.
We find you at night in Spa, and I'll leave that as the key.
Yes. Yes, I've got a nice spot, nice lookout over Eau Rouge. So yeah, I have to be honest. I want to chime in on that as well. It's I think it's sad to see Vettel go, but I think the way he his position in Aston Martin, I don't think makes a lot of sense. And I've heard that Alonso, when he gets to Aston Martin, they've already told him he's not going to be the first driver. They're going to be equal, he and Lance Stroll. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go if you get in a driver that has already made his name in Formula One. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, I think that Alonso couldn't give two flying fucks about that. To be
Alonso
fair.
wouldn't know, but
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
I mean, that is going to be an issue for Aston Martin only. I mean, Alonso is more than happy. He's going to get a shitload of money. He's going to run with a car. If it's true that they're going to get, that engine is going to be, fantastic. And also, to be totally fair, I mean, if I were Alonso and I'm in a team with fuck, I mean, I'm missing the name of the other dude in
Ocon?
Aston Martin.
Or Stroll?
No, in Aston.
Stroll.
Yeah, I mean, if I am Alonso and I get in a team with Stroll, I mean, they can tell me I'm not the first driver. Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna steam that guy anyway. So yeah,
You're right.
I got no
You're right.
problem. I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah, give me the same stuff that the other guy gets. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
But I was thinking from the side of the team. Wouldn't you want the one with the most experience to be the first driver to be able to build the team?
No, that's the thing with Aston Martin. It's the same reason why they took Vettel, and that was the same thing that happened when they took Vettel. According to Lance Stroll, the owner of the team, when they got Vettel, basically what they wanted somebody who was going to teach to his son how to drive. So that was the reason behind Vettel, and that is the same reason behind Alonso. They basically want the best tutor they can find.
Yeah.
For Stroll, to drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not surprised, at all. And also, I can tell you that if that team is run half decently, if Alonso says something and Stroll says something, the engineers will listen to Alonso and then eventually listen to Stroll. And that is just the name of the game. It's the nature of the beast. When you are in a team, when you got an engineer, you just listen to the with the most experience. I mean, nowadays it's a little bit more different because you got a lot of data to look at it, and basically, yeah, it's true you listen to the drivers, but not so much. It's just only when you know what the fuck you're doing. Like what happened in Spa with the tires, where nobody was actually sure what was happening with the tires. Because they were working way differently than what they predicted, so they want to listen to the driver. So now they got a lot of data. But again, if you have a team with Alonso and Stroll, I can tell you, you're going to listen to Alonso. And that doesn't mean it's going to be the right thing, though, right? Because Alonso might have, some strange ideas of how the car is going to be built. That has happened to me, with motorcycle. I mean, we were listening to, to a guy which was supposedly, better than the teammate, but everything he said made no fucking sense at all whatsoever. And we actually had to accommodate him in some way, shape, or form. I mean, we got up, to the point of putting some, believe it or not, of putting some fake pipes just to tell him that the frame was, a little bit different. But those bikes made no difference whatsoever. Just to say, yeah, no, you're right. See, we modified your frame. It's different from your teammate. It didn't make any difference whatsoever.
That's actually kind of funny that you have placebos in racing, right?
Oh, fuck. Listen, placebo in racing is way more important than people think it is.
That I didn't know.
I can.
That I didn't know.
I can guarantee you. I saw personally and actually did some of them in some Italian championship. Not super top notch, but still, there was some people really fast. I've seen, scenes where the driver comes and is complaining about the like for example the front suspension, and we know that's the way they're supposed to be working. We know that they're working okay, but still the guy is complaining. So you go there. I've seen people go there with a screwdriver and literally turning one turn right and then one turn left. So put him back in the very same position, say, yeah, now it's the way you want.
Yeah.
The guy goes back in the track and say, yeah, now it's working fantastic. So yeah, it happens a lot of times.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny, but I can see that happens. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You cannot do with all the drivers or riders. You can't do that with everybody, because there is somebody which is going to tell you, no, you didn't do anything. They know, they realize, they feel it. But with a lot of people, yeah, sometimes it's just, yeah, okay. Try now.
I like
Is
that.
it better? Yes, okay.
I like that actually. Okay, so I did bring a couple of things to the show, so let's hop over to this. It was race day at Spa.
Yeah.
Sainz P1, Perez P2, Alonso P3. I don't think that they're going to get that anytime soon again. So
Yeah.
the first three literally spelled Spa, which is kind of a nice touch. And yeah, the other one's too bad that Simons isn't here, because also the first three people all Spanish speaking. So we had someone made the reference, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Apparently at Spa it happened.
Yeah.
They got them. Moving on to Lewis. Obviously that was a big joke on social media. Toto, this is Lewis. Please let the FIA know my back hurts again from all the porpoising. I mean, they weren't kind to Lewis because of what he did, because it was obviously his mistake. He said it was a blind spot. Okay, it may have been a blind spot, but he knew Alonso was there. He didn't need the blind spot to know that Alonso was there.
I don't think that he knew that Alonso was there. The problem is that he didn't knew if Alonso was there, and he just drove as if he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see what I mean? He wasn't sure he wasn't there, and he just pretended he wasn't. So it drove.
But the guy's a 7-time world championship. I don't think this is the kind of error that he should be making. This was just a lapse of concentration, I think. I don't know.
The guy has been driving for about 10 years, 8 years, a car which was so much superior to the others that every time that he tried to overtake somebody on the outside, there was nobody on the inside, because his car was so much faster. And so I don't think that he's used to the fact that, I give him big balls in trying to do that maneuver, but it's not going to end the same way as when he was driving with Rosberg and Bottas. You know what I mean? So I think there is that.
Someone actually put it up on Twitter, and I couldn't find the shot in time, because I just discovered this right before we were setting up for the show. But it seems that he had made the exact same move with Rosberg at some point, which also went bad. I can't remember, but
I have no doubts believing that. I mean, again, the guy has such a superior car, especially in corner speed. That when he did that, he was able to make the corner so much faster that the other guy wasn't there anymore. I mean, the other guy was still braking. Forget about trying to make the corner. So I think that he is still adapting to the situation in some instances. When it's all a problem of reaction and instinct. I think there is that. The other funny thing is that I think that I can't remember exactly which lap, but there was an overtake between Ocon, Vettel, and I think I can't remember if it was Gasly or Tsunoda, I think, or some other guy on the after the Eau Rouge and Radion, and they got to the end of it, and Ocon get the slipstream of two cars, and he made exactly the same thing to another driver, the same maneuver, but he actually made it in a different way. He didn't. I mean, he gave way more space. He thought the guy was there, which actually was, and he managed to overtake. So a lot of people said, "Yeah, see, I mean, Ocon is better than Lewis Hamilton."
Yeah.
So because.
Yeah, Lucky Seven Wolfin put in the side chat. Rosberg tried the outside. What? Yeah, Hamilton said Nico's hit me at the exact same corner. Rosberg tried the outside just like Hamilton did to Alonso. So yeah, apparently that happened. The good thing is that we're probably going to get a lot of memes because this was one that I actually liked. Yeah. I mean, this says what happened. Alonso doesn't care too much, and for Lewis it was the end of the race. But we're going to see that walk again. I mean, this one I like too.
Sorry, one thing about that walk. There are two things. The first one is that I don't know if people know exactly how Spa is made, but Lewis has a fucking long walk to go there.
Yeah,
it's a very long walk. And also, I've heard that he's been given a penalty because he refused to go to the medical center.
Yeah, he didn't go to the medical center.
There is that.
Yeah, but so I think he took that walk on purpose because everyone was saying, okay, there's no vehicle to pick up Lewis. I think there was a vehicle. I think Lewis just had to let off steam and thought, I'll walk. And because he also refused to go to the medical center, I think he was pretty pissed off about the whole thing. But so this one actually I thought was the funniest, just going through the high rake setup data. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And another, I'm not a gamer, but and someone needs to go check this. If anyone here plays Fortnite, according to Battery Voltas, they added Lewis's walk in the game Fortnite. So if people can check that would be really, really funny. Okay. Ferrari also was under fire on social media. This was one, there were a lot where they're still mocking Binotto. And so even the journalists, I saw Matt Amos's show. He does a Formula One show as well, just right before this one. And so they were also talking about, Binotto has to go. Any thoughts of you two? What do you think?
Binotto must not go. Binotto is a brilliant engineer. And Binotto has to go back being the engineer.
Yeah, that's what they said.
To be the head of development.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying that ever since Binotto got the reign from well, actually, there was somebody before
Arriva
after
Bene.
You know, but
Arriva
this-
Bene.
Pre-season, you said that,
Yes,
Fabio.
yeah.
I mean,
So
as soon as you heard that
I
Metaxas
know, I know,
Benoppo
I
was
know, I
given the
know.
job,
I
you
mean,
went, I wish they wouldn't give the job to engineers, because engineers just fuck about like no tomorrow.
listen, I mean,
And
okay,
that's fair enough. Also,
yeah,
I just want to say one other thing.
please,
You also, last race, we had this exact conversation last race.
yes.
And yeah, we're just repeating ourselves
Mm-hmm.
on
The
this channel because
the
we're ahead of the curve, clearly. Go ahead.
the thing
Yeah.
is that I mean, you can hate Christian Horner and Toto Wolff and Steiner and you name one. You can hate those guys as much as you want. The thing is that they're making a job where you have to be shaped in a certain way, have some set of skills, and they're doing their job really well. There is no question about
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
Arriva Bene was a massive cunt in the best possible way. In the best possible way. But he was, the man for the job.
He
was,
really was, yeah.
he was the
really
guy
was.
which said, I can't remember after which race, he said, yeah, we should have less engineers and more people that actually look at the weather, by putting a hand outside, the thing.
He had
And-
a turn
Yeah.
of phrase.
Yeah, and he told that in Ferrari about Ferrari. So, yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I agree.
I mean, again, it's a real tough job. Ferrari didn't have anyone to put in there. That was the problem, and that's why they picked Binotto, because he's been a loyal servant to the company for many, many years. He's done great work in the past for Ferrari. If in some respects they almost won several championships because of the aero on their cars, right? If it wasn't for just some bad luck and some reliability problems, and more importantly, last year, of course, or the year before, I should say, the FIA getting involved in the engine scandal, then they would have had their championship by now. Go ahead.
So just think about this. One of the, if not the best engineers that Ferrari has ever had, and one of the best engineers, if not the best engineers ever in F1, when he was in Ferrari, he wasn't the team manager. And I'm talking about Forghieri. Forghieri was, the guy. What he did is he's on par with Colin Chapman. You name them, those guys, right? He was never a team manager because he was an engineer, and he actually and he physically responded directly to Enzo Ferrari. So, the only person who could talk to him was Enzo Ferrari. So it's like God, and then there is this guy, and still he wasn't a team manager because he was an engineer. And Ferrari, Enzo, knew that, understood that, and he just put some people making okay. You manage the team, and it's not. You can manage the team without being, somebody involved in the technical side. Actually, Christian Horner and Toto Wolff, they're not involved in the technical side.
This is the thing that Mercedes, and more so Mercedes, but Red Bull first kind of pioneered was the fact that they put somebody in charge of the team, which was an excellent man manager.
Yeah, no, but
right?
but
now let me finish.
Sorry.
Let me finish.
Yeah,
so that he was Christian Horner is an excellent man manager. He knows how to put a rocket up somebody when they need it, but he knows how to put the arm around somebody when they need it, and he can get the right people in the right positions. One of the things that Toto has done is learn from the Red Bull experience, and the reason Toto's in there is because he's not just a great man manager. He can do both of those things. He can also shape the whole organization into one path, right? And that's something which you're not going to do as an engineer, you're not going to do as a designer, you're not going to do as a tactician. You have to have the overall view. And to my money here, Ferrari have been lacking in not catching on to the trends in Formula One over many decades.
Well, but
this is yet another decade where it goes by where they haven't glommed on to what is the most important thing for that position to be doing. Go ahead.
But yeah, but that's the thing. I'm actually disagreeing with you. You know, when you
Sure.
say that Ferrari hasn't been catching up, you know what I'm saying is that they were the real pioneer in that stuff. Because, you know, the most successful car, again, you know, when Forghieri was in charge, it wasn't a team manager, it was somebody else. When then they had, I mean, Luca di Montezemolo. Luca di Montezemolo is not a fucking engineer. He later went to be head of Ferrari, but he was team manager, you know, when Lauda and Hunt, you know, were racing. So that was the team manager. And Forghieri, which was a god amongst men, as from an engineering point of view, it was just the engineer, you know, the head engineer.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
But Luca di Montezemolo was there. I mean, remember, you know, the Schumacher era. Jean Todt was there. I mean, Jean Todt is not a fucking engineer.
Yeah. No,
It's never been.
You're talking right. These are excellent managers, but of course they had something to build the team around.
Yeah,
and
so
that's the point that Christian and Toto have done themselves. They've made the team the thing to build around, and not just that, they've done it in such a way that everybody pulls in that direction. There are no internal conflicts at these teams. There are at Ferrari. Unfortunately, politics is a large part of the game when you're in that team. That's a shame.
But they got a page from Ferrari, and apparently Ferrari just forgot to read the book that they wrote.
Maybe.
Which is, I mean, it's anyway.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not convinced, obviously, of that, because, you know, those years where Ferrari came second, they did it because they had good drivers. They didn't do it because they had internal consistency like the teams, like, Red Bull. Admittedly, Red Bull, when they did it, they had Adrian Newey designing the car. But not just that, they had Christian Horner managing the team very well. So they could allow these engineering geniuses to do their stuff.
Well,
right? And that seems to be what happened at Mercedes. Mercedes went from a team that had Schumacher in it, but still a poor car. It just wasn't engineered well. The chassis wasn't good and the aero wasn't good. Now, when Toto joined, that all changed. They got people on board that were allowed to do their job. And it seems to me Benotto is in a position where he wants to do the job which the aero people are doing, right? And he's not allowed to do that because, of course, he's the team manager. And so he's second-guessing what's going on half the time here. That seems to me a difficult situation. It comes down to exactly the point you're making, which is you don't want to promote somebody who isn't a great manager into a position where they have to manage people. Go ahead.
No, please, Peter, go.
Yeah, okay. So, my next one, people not going to be pleased. Again, Valtteri Bottas, someone I follow on Twitter. If messing up was an Olympic sport, Next, it started in qualification. Leclerc asking, what are these tires? They are a mistake. How can you put the wrong tires on a car? I mean, that's something that shouldn't have happened. And then during the race,
there's a good reason for that, though. I mean,
okay,
that mistake is not what it seems to be.
Okay.
Say that.
Well, during the race,
I mean, they put new tires on because they thought he was going to go for pole. That was always the original plan. When he decided that no, there's no point in going for pole now, I may as well just give a toe to Sainz to try and get pole. Then of course they could have just put old tires on.
Yeah, and there is also the fact that I think that thing was blown out of proportion, in my opinion, because I mean it is true that they were not supposed to be putting those tires in that lap. That's true, but it's also true that with a normal race, with no safety cars and all, they would have only needed one set of new red tires, which they had. So yeah, there's that.
Okay. During the race, also a strange thing, asking Charles what kind of tires he wants to have. I'm not sure if that's a good decision. I mean, shouldn't you have strategists who know, okay, this is what's going on the circuit. Charles doesn't know that.
Are you referring to the when they're asking which tires he
Yes,
wanted?
yes.
Presumably.
Well, I disagree with that. One of the main problems in Spa last Sunday was that everybody, and I mean all the teams, they were actually taken away by how the tires were behaving. Apparently, there were more consumptions that they thought about it. So basically, what happened is that at the pit, the data that you had makes no sense whatsoever. So when you are at that point, I think the best decision to do is to ask the driver which tires they prefer. And actually, I think that was quite a smart move, because I cannot tell you which tires to put because the data doesn't conform to reality. So, I mean, what is your feeling with the tires? That's all they did. So I think that was actually, not bad.
Yeah, and more than that, it's normal practice to ask the driver to confirm the tyre choice. And when it's 50-50, then they just leave it up to the driver. That's perfectly normal. I would be surprised if any team didn't ask the driver how the tyres are feeling and what their ideas about grip, etc. are. And unless there's specific data to contradict the driver's feeling, then there's no reason not to go with whatever the driver prefers.
I mean, Lewis has been done that for a decade, right?
At least, yeah. And most others. I mean, Alonso is very good at calling his own tyre choices as well.
Vettel. I mean, the sensible driver, they can do that. I mean, and that's, again, I think it's a good thing. If you have a driver like Leclerc, which can tell you how the car behaves, you can drive over the problem with the car. That's you got all the sensor, all your data, and then you got another sensor in the car, which you can't buy, and you happen to have it, and it's very good, and you ask that sensor too for data. So. And
it's the most expensive sensor in the car.
Oh, fuck yeah.
No. So, I mean, you'd be silly not to take into account. So, yeah, I mean, I think, this guy normally does good memes and stuff. And I get what he's saying. He's just pointing out that strategy calls at Ferrari once again.
Yeah.
Seemed dodgy, but no, not in this case. He's wrong.
Okay, so my last...
Hello, Bub Elvis as well, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, Bubblefist. So last one has nothing to do with Formula One, but it was a nice thing to see, and I want one. There was this guy racing a Formula One car with a hoverboard. We've been waiting for that since Back to the Future. That was actually something that, I want one of those. And apparently he won because he got the trophy. Hold up. He got the trophy and came back and showed people that he got the trophy. It's a little bit hard to see, but he's got it in his hand. I really want one of those. I mean, who wouldn't?
Well, me. I'd just kill myself.
I can tell you we can get one. Actually, we can use one and probably being paid to do that. I saw a documentary in England, of all the places. They're testing that system. Well, it's not exactly that system, but it's close enough. I mean, you still fly. It's a jetpack. And they're using that for search and rescue. So, and it's that. I mean, it's a very smart thing because it can only fly for maybe 15 minutes and stuff like that. But they showed it, and they can reach somebody on a mountain, for example, way faster than an helicopter. And there is a person going there, provides, So yeah, I mean,
but this
can
is
relocate to.
This is different.
To UK, and apply for that.
Yeah, this is different. This is actually kind of a drone. So it has 4 propellers on each corner. And the way things are going with how long the batteries last, this could be a thing of the future where you actually can have enough energy to power the thing for a longer period of time. So...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That's why I'm saying the other
Yeah.
one in the UK is better because it's got jet engines, and jet engines are better than propellers. Everybody knows that. So
Yeah, but they run out
Yeah,
of.
I mean,
They run.
just ask Red Bull.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah,
Also,
they tend to run out of
just
fuel.
to point out, just to point out the ones with wings, right, where they have two jet engines on the fucking wings that guy flies against or flies with 747 planes and shit.
yeah.
Oh my god, what the fuck
That
is
is
that all about?
fantastic.
And I've got to say, when people keep saying this, like this is the way. Oh, think of how transport's going to be.
No
No,
way.
no traffic jams. No.
No.
There will be traffic jams because the fucking roads will be filled with ambulances going everywhere to pick up
Yeah.
people that have almost
Yeah.
killed themselves on these things.
It's the same thing I say. If people is complaining we have no flying cars. Yeah, I mean, thank fuck we have no
Yeah.
flying cars.
Yeah.
Because no, and the reason is that I know at least a couple of guys which work on their own cars and their own motorcycles. And I don't want them to work on their own flying cars because it's bad enough that they can crash from the road and get in my garden, but I don't want them to actually fall through
come
my
to-
roof.
yeah.
So thank fuck for that.
Well,
absolutely.
but there is another thing. So
Okay.
Amazon is planning to make delivery with drones. If that's going to catch on, we're going to get a lot of drone.
They've already started doing it, haven't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
In some places, in America, they've already started delivering with drones, small packages.
yeah.
And it seems to work all right, I have to say, except, in America, where
Yeah.
everybody's got guns,
Yeah.
it's just asking for trouble.
yes,
Because you can imagine, right? Hang on, what's that noise? Oh, it's a fucking drone. Hang on a second, darling. Pull.
let
Bang.
let's see what it's carrying.
That's why I bought an air carbine, so that I'm waiting for the Amazon drones to go in. And it's better because it doesn't even make too much of a sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah,
and the drone is fucked. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
and you get a nice
Alright.
prize if it's an Amazon drone. There's a surprise package
There
to
you
come
go.
with it.
It's a win-win situation.
Yes. Okay, so
Um,
yeah, that was it for me. Preparing for the Dutch GP. That's good for you, Simon. You don't have to pay me much.
no, that's true. That's true.
See?
That is very true. To be fair, it was never on the cards, but anyway.
Yeah, no.
Be fair. Okay, well, we've gone on quite long enough for everybody, I
Yes.
feel. Domino's were thinking of pizza delivery drones. Yeah, well, think of the mess. Think of the blood on the streets that would cause. Well,
Right.
I say blood, I mean tomato sauce, of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, when I say tomato, you really mean chemicals, because it's not.
No, I'm not talking about Heinz ketchup. I can assure you of that.
Yeah.
Just so I don't offend any of our Italian viewers. I say viewers, I mean Fabio.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for that. That was the Belgium Grand Prix. I think we've now dictated the way the season's going. I think we've come to the midpoint, just over the midpoint, and it's. I mean, the statistics say Max Verstappen, congratulations. He's going to have to drop out of many races, otherwise. I mean, the only hope we have left, and when I say hope, I mean I am clawing on to the fucking White Cliffs of Dover with one fingertip, okay?
Yes.
Which is to say, maybe Red Bull have spent their 140 million or 147.5 million or whatever it is. And maybe they won't be able to turn up to the last 6 races.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave you with that thought.
Maybe.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
You never
I
know.
don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you very much, everybody. And let's hit the outro.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Ciao. Yeah,
Ciao, ciao.
ciao, ciao.